episode 7 recap. Hi guys, I am Peju Bamgboshe Happy.
Hi everyone, and I'm Naomi Bamgboshe.
And thank you guys for tuning in. As always, we like to start each episode with a toast to Alan, the Faithfuls, and the Traitors. Ma, can you?
Okay, let's lift our glasses to Alan, the fabulous, super duper fabulous host of Traitors Season 3, is this?
Yes.
Season 3, oh wow. Well, and just a wonderful show last night.
The Faithfuls too.
The Faithfuls, the Traitors, yeah, absolutely. Continued success, long life, prosperity, health, wealth, happiness, salud.
Okay.
Woo, refreshing beverage.
Right. So last week was a roller coaster. We saw the dysfunctional trio, Carolyn, Danielle, and Boston Rob, and they just didn't trust each other. There was a lot of miscommunication between the trio. So let's roll on to episode 7. Now, the things get kicked off in the turret where they're struggling to agree on who to murder next. Rob has his sights set on Derrick. Now Danielle is saying, no, I can't do it. But what happens, Mom?
Well, there was a reset. Apparently Danielle asked for the reset. That was the deal she made. She said, okay, I'll go along with Derrick. Of course, she really didn't want to, but she wanted forgiveness, quote unquote, the reset, especially when it comes to Carolyn, because she has been, bantying Carolyn's name about, throughout, the whole village, the whole community.
Yeah.
And Carolyn is angry with her. And Rob, he just doesn't trust anybody anyway. So it's sort of the world against Danielle. So yes. Danielle said, if you guys forgive me and we do a reset, I'll go along with voting for the banishment of Derrick. And that's what happened. They made a deal.
Yeah. Okay. I don't really have anything else to add to that. Let's move on to the breakfast table reveal. So it's drama everywhere. Danielle looks very guilty. As always, you can see in her face something doesn't look right, and Rob is over there, stirring the pot. He talks to Dylan and he talks to Sierra, and he's trying to get someone framed. We know who he's trying to get framed, and Tom Sandoval, of all people, is starting to look at Rob like, Rob is looking kind of suspicious there. But who is it that Mr. Boston Rob is trying to throw under the table? Well, we'll find out a little bit more as we proceed. Any thoughts on everybody's reaction at the breakfast table when it's revealed that Derrick is gone?
I think people were upset. Yeah. I got the general consensus was that everyone was kind of upset because Derrick was very personable. A lot of people like Derrick. And let's just say we know for sure that Danielle really hit it with the tears. She really turned on the tears. And a couple of people noticed that Danielle reacted very right. Had a very, very strong reaction to Derrick's murder.
Right.
And also it made people look at her again too. But people have been looking at her every time for her overreaction to things, being overly emotional. But somehow, well, I don't want to jump ahead.
Every episode.
Right. They looked at her, but somehow it didn't translate into votes against her.
Not yet. We'll move on.
Okay.
We'll move on to that. Okay. We don't know. Okay. But we're saying that's her thing.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, she was even more extreme though with Derrick.
Yeah, and you can kind of understand it a little bit, but that also makes people think, oh, are you feeling guilty because you're a traitor?
Right, absolutely.
Or, are you feeling...
Absolutely.
Or are you feeling guilty because you and him were friends and you knew him from Big Brother?
Absolutely. And at this point, well, we'll talk about when they voted, okay? I don't want to say too much.
And so like a little bit of background about Derrick. Like Derrick is, in many people's lists, like a top 5 winner of Big Brother. Like he's one of... like the great winners. He just was only on there one time, so they can't necessarily say he's Dan.
Right.
So the mission of the week, Ma, was this whole wedding sort of disaster, nightmarish type thing.
Oh my goodness.
And so the players were dressed. They were dressed up really nice. Everyone in red. Alan even threw a veil over his suit. But
Alan was in white and threw a bunch of red roses and a veil. Yeah.
Well, this mission was about it was a weird mission. Each pair had to hold hands for 8 minutes in a glass box and earn 4,500 and shields if they lasted. So go ahead, but we know that there was lots of insects and eventually snakes,
all kinds of vermin
that was just really, really, really gross.
So it wasn't just holding hands; it was holding hands while you were being attacked by vermin.
Yes, well, of course.
Yeah.
But the worst couple was Chriselle and Dolores. They lasted like a few seconds. Everybody else lasted the entire 8 minutes. And you notice Rob did a really, really good job in coaching Sierra. They were partnered up, and he was very sweet and kind to her. I didn't think he would be as nice with her, right? Didn't you think he did a good job?
Yes.
And we know, and Danielle and Brittany, they partnered together, and that was,
and they were good, and they were really good together. Good. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Any thoughts on that whole mission? Did you like that mission?
I listen. Okay, we always are looking at the monetary gain.
Gosh.
Right, we're looking at the monetary gain, and we know they're all motivated by the need to prevail, and of course, money is a wonderful incentive. We got all that, but it was disgusting.
Yeah,
I did not like all those various different bugs, vermin, just general vermin. Then then they topped it off with snakes.
Yes.
And I didn't know.
And it was
I didn't like it.
Could you do that, Ma? Like, how long would you last in a competition like that?
I don't know. Maybe if they blindfolded me, but just the visual,
well, I
just
couldn't
me looking
at it.
That's it. The visual, I don't think I would have lasted. Yeah. I don't think I would have lasted very long with the visual. Yeah. That would have got me. If you would have blindfolded me, I don't know. Tactile, I don't know, because I actually pledged for sorority, and we had to stick our hands and stuff in it, whatever, So I went through that successfully.
Yeah.
So I may have made it through the touching portion of it, but the visual, I think I would have been immediately out.
Okay. I think that if I wasn't, I'm like you. Like, if I could see it, like, that would just get to me. Like, I really, but, and snakes, I just can't stand snakes. I know, like that. Yeah. Okay, well, in the end, Sam, Ivar, Brittany, Danielle, Sierra, and Rob all had shields, so they were safe from being murdered that night. Everybody else was on the chopping block.
There you go. That's it.
Now, let's get to the Roundtable, Ma, where things really just kind of get out of hand a little bit. Brittany has been pretty much keeping a very low profile, but after, Derrick left, there's been some suspicion because Derrick put some suspicion in Dylan's head. Now, Dylan, of course, ran right to Rob to let Rob know that Derrick felt that he, Boston Rob, and that Brittany were both traitors.
Traitors, right.
Now, I don't know why he thought that was a good idea to go tell Rob.
Well, I think he's still a fan. I think he's just so under the spell of Dan. Oh my goodness. So under the spell of Rob.
Right.
But the thing about it was, Derrick left that message. Derrick said, listen, I want you to believe this, or I want you to know this, I want you to feel what I think. And he had every reason to believe that Rob, in particular, he had every reason to believe about Rob, because Derrick came to Dylan and said, I think I'm going to be murdered tonight. And in fact, he was murdered.
Yeah.
So that meant that there's total reason to give credibility to what Derrick said.
Right.
But somehow or another, at the round table, did Dylan do that?
No.
Somehow or another.
No, it was very strange, because like I thought Dylan, had good instincts, but like you said, he just is a fanboy. Rob took advantage of that. Rob decided that he was going to, target Brittany. And Rob's theory was that Brittany might have murdered Derrick because he was close to exposing her. Now, whatever, if you want to say that's a stretch or not, Brittany had no idea early on that Rob was a traitor.
Right.
She was defending Rob.
Right. And
and that really, Rob to me went after the wrong person. He shouldn't have targeted Brittany. I'm not exactly sure who he should have targeted, but it shouldn't have been Brittany. First of all, they shouldn't have murdered Derrick. I think murdering Derrick
that was too obvious, only because, as we always say, right, and everybody's using Occam's razor to,
Yeah.
But sometimes the most obvious answer is the answer.
Yeah.
And with Derrick, with Rob, guys, we did have a toast. Okay, with Rob, the thing about it was there was so much documentation.
Right.
They had so many receipts. I would have just taken a chance and said, well, if I'm wrong, I have reason for my choice.
Right.
And this is my reason.
Right.
It could be wrong, but this is what the evidence has led me to.
Right.
And there was so much, and Rob gave everyone that evidence.
Right.
Because he was so aggressive in his pursuit of anyone who even innuendo, because when he got rid of Bob, the drag queen,
right,
that was purely innuendo. There was no strong substantive reason for him to get rid of Bob. Bob never called him out,
right,
like he said Rob said Bob did. That didn't happen like that.
Right.
He just wanted to assert dominance, and that's where Bob Harper was right. Mm-hmm. And you see Bob Harper, who called it to a T, you see how he ended up.
Yeah.
As soon as he called it down to a T, what happened and the motivation. And he said, I've been following and studying Rob for a long time, and I know how he thinks, and this would be a move that he would make, and he was dead on. Next thing you know, he's dead.
All right. Well, we're going back.
Okay,
episodes.
I know that. I'm bringing the receipts. I'm
Okay.
bringing the receipts.
Okay.
So how everybody ended up thinking back at all those things. Bob Harper going first. Bob the drag queen going. Then Bob Harper's going. Now Derrick's going. Bringing it all together. You would have been foolish if you didn't take a chance on voting for Rob.
Well, I agree with you on that, but I was a little bit scary, and the fact that Tom Sandoval brought it up, I was really nervous because nobody paid attention to Tom, because everything that Tom said prior to this
had been wrong. Yeah, but he was laser beamed in
he was on
Rob. Yeah,
he was on it.
Oh, absolutely.
And we have Gabby with one vote from Dylan. Dylan just voted for Gabby, and that was just a miscue completely.
Because he just had to vote.
He just had to
vote.
vote.
He just went over and chose
He's
a
like,
random person.
I don't think it's Brittany or Rob, and so he voted for Gabby.
And he didn't think it was Gabby either. So who did you think it was?
Or it's somebody.
Right, it's somebody. Right.
Then we have Chriselle and Dolores voting for Tom. Now, I think Dolores, I don't know if she really believed it was Tom, but she doesn't particularly care for Tom, and Tom has voted for Dolores. Chriselle, we know Chriselle doesn't like Tom, and Chriselle Chriselle has to be one of the worst faithfuls so far.
I'm telling you,
she's loud and wrong.
Wrong and loud.
All the time.
She's Miss Loud and Wrong. Shout out to James Brown. Miss Loud and Wrong, keep on singing that same old funky song.
And then she also threw Justin Hartley under the bus or something, or not under the bus, threw shade at him. Something she said about her first marriage. And she was referring to Justin Hartley, so that was a whole nother story.
You're right. Okay.
And then 2 votes for Brittany. That's Sierra and Rob. Now we know Rob was going for Brittany, and Sierra was under the mist of Rob because she was really wrong, thinking that it was Brittany. And then we had 7 votes. We got Tom, Brittany, Carolyn stood on business.
Yes,
Danielle
she did. Yes,
stood
she
on
did.
business.
Yes, she did.
Ivar,
both ladies did.
Sam and Gabby. And so that was the end of
That
Rob.
was it. That was it.
And I enjoyed Rob, even though I think he did some craziness. He was entertaining.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he definitely has good. That's how he's been so successful.
Yeah.
He had the personality, he had the charisma and the charm and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know, that's what it is about him.
He's been in reality TV for 20-something years.
Mixed with being cutthroat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And he just got a little bit too combination aggressive, paranoid. I hate to keep using that word aggressive, but he did. He really went full throttle when he should have pulled back a little bit and taken a chance on hanging out another week to see if Derrick stayed focused on him, because don't forget, Derrick had a wrong focus on Brittany.
You're right.
Okay? So he could have, took a chance, but he was so, he had his foot on the gas.
All right.
And it didn't work out well for him.
Yeah. He's gone. He will be missed because he was entertaining, but he was just a little too much.
Right. And what do you think about Dylan's response when Rob admitted that he was a traitor? What about Dylan?
I don't know, because Dylan seemed like, he was shocked, but he also seemed like he was getting protection. He's been getting protection from the Traitors.
Well, he's looking for protection again because he feels like he's been hung out to dry because Rob is gone.
Yeah.
So where's he going to go now?
Yeah, and that's the interesting thing. I don't know which direction you want to go in. Let's just talk about the players in general. Let's do like a kind of like a power ranking if we can, because there's 11 players left. So if we go with Tom, I think Tom is probably
Tom has earned a little bit of juice,
but he's the most vulnerable right now for the Traitors. The Traitors may go after him because they know that Tom finally did something right and got rid of Rob.
Not only did he do something right,
no one trusts him.
He is now has power as a threat to them.
But for me, I wouldn't get rid of Tom. I would get rid of like a Chriselle.
I wouldn't jump right up and get rid of Tom.
No,
because that's not a good. They have seen that strategy not work.
Right. I would get rid of a Chriselle or Dolores because they're the ones that voted for Tom. I would try to make it seem like Tom is a traitor and Tom voted murdered one of them. Yeah. That is what I'm thinking. Danielle is still very vulnerable because Danielle looks very guilty.
Danielle's own behavior betrays her to a great extent.
Yeah, and
I'm surprised she's been skating.
I'm surprised she's still up there.
Yeah, me too.
And her name has been in people's mouths. So if she can survive another week, let's see how things go this week. Because I don't know. I don't see her surviving longer than Carolyn because nobody believes that Carolyn is capable of being a traitor, which is foolish.
Let's face it, they all are looking at Carolyn as being so ditzy.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
But guess what? She's not that damn ditzy.
She's not that, no.
No. Right.
All right. Next we have Sam. Sam, he's to me just pretty much like an obvious target because he's not really that strong in anything, but he did mention a couple weeks ago that if Boston Rob was still there, that he was looking at Boston Rob. But then the following week, I guess Boston Rob had talked to him. He wound up voting for West.
He switched up, right?
So,
he switched up, right?
But I don't
right.
think he has a strong standing left in the show. At least I don't know. What you
Listen,
think.
I would choose Sam only if I wanted to throw my vote away. I was undecided. I wouldn't choose him because I instinctively felt, or because that he was the traitor, or because I had some proof that he was the traitor. Because I don't see that with Sam, Yeah. But I would vote for him if I just didn't know which way to go and I was torn, and I would just give, a vote to Sam. But I would like to be more thoughtful about my votes. Sam is handsome and, this and that. But Sam is not a person that I would be, just based on what we're seeing as a viewing audience, he's not a person who has done much to make me think he's a traitor. Right. I would have no logical reason for coming up with Sam as a traitor. And he's not nasty enough to not like him. Mm-hmm. And, and he's pleasant to look at. So I would only vote for him if I was totally befuddled. Okay. Totally confused. Other than that, I would not really, at this point, I wouldn't vote for Sam. Not at this point. Okay. At this point, I'd be looking much more at people who are moving in a certain way. Yeah. And I would be looking at...
Well, we're going to move on.
Okay,
We're going through all of them. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I think Sam is... I think he's kind of a good target to throw people off. I think sometimes when I'm thinking about...
Yeah, when you don't have a real target. Yeah. You would just vote for it.
Well, not about... I'm talking about as a traitor. I'm thinking about as being a traitor, who would I murder? And I'm thinking that I could murder him.
Oh, you mean as a traitor?
As a traitor.
Oh, okay.
I might want to, shake things up a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Lord Ivar, he's really just completely under the radar, but I don't know. He I don't, no one believes that he's a traitor, but maybe he's a little too far under the radar.
Right. Well, we know he's not a traitor.
Yeah.
But are you saying as a traitor, would you want to vote for him?
Well, it's however you look at it as far as your safety. I'm just talking about total safety.
Right. Well, I don't think I think he's kind of followed the crowd.
Yeah.
I don't think he really has been a person to lead anything.
No.
So, however you view that as him being dangerous to you, I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
He's not a person that I would probably target because I just haven't heard enough from him. To me, he's a total follower.
Right.
And I couldn't help but keep my eye on who is most vocal. If you want to fool me, you need to be under the radar.
But here's the that's true. That's true.
Well, I would go with that because I would have nothing else to go on.
Yeah.
Unless I have a bunch of receipts.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
Listen. Yeah. I don't know. Look. He's okay. I think he's in the middle, and sometimes that's good, and sometimes it's bad.
Right.
So
whose perspective are you looking at?
I'm looking at both. I'm looking at safety.
Okay.
Just
so
safety.
So
who's in the best position?
For his own safety, he's playing a good game. Mm-hmm. From the traitor's safety, it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Now, Chriselle, to me, I think is... You could say that she's playing a good game and that she appears to be so ditzy and so clueless you won't even bother with her. But then...
I would get rid of Chriselle.
But then, that's the other thing about Chriselle, who was she aligned with?
Right.
Who
I would get rid of Chriselle.
I don't trust her.
You know how come? Right. Because she'll come out her face. Why are you still throwing shade at something that's done?
Well, okay. That's how she is.
Yeah, well, right. That's how she is.
Yep.
So that's how she is, okay? So you're ballsy, you're gutsy, okay? You're looking to bring it on, okay? Yep. You don't mind starting it. Guess what? I'm going to start it with you. Because I've seen that she will initiate stuff. So that means if she gets something...
And it's wrong.
Right. Yeah. but that's right. So she's dangerous.
Yeah.
So if she gets a thought in her head or an idea in her head, no matter how wrong-headed it is, she will speak it. She will advocate for that position.
Right.
I would have no problem voting for Chriselle.
Yeah.
No problem at all.
And then we have Dolores, and I really just don't know about Dolores because her reads have been off. Yeah,
off.
She says she's ready
but
to
she's
hunt.
also vocal.
Yeah.
She's also very vocal.
She says she's ready to hunt the traitors, but she's just off.
You know.
Now, Carolyn is still in, I think, a pretty good position for a traitor. People still aren't really paying her much attention.
No, she's still able to have people look at her as a innocent, quote unquote. Yeah. Carolyn, she's still doing that. You know who I like the way she defended herself at the Roundtable? That was Brittany.
Well, we didn't get to Brittany. No,
okay.
we're going through all of the people.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, moving on. Dylan. So Dylan, I don't know about Dylan. I think that Dylan, his past alliance or allegiance to Rob, I think is going to be an issue because he defended Rob to the end, and he actually put Rob in danger too. I don't know if he realizes that. When I say put Rob in danger, he said he wasn't going to mention everything that Derrick said to him, and he mentioned both sides of what Derrick said to him. He mentioned
absolutely
the Rob theory and the
Brittany
theory.
Yes, he did.
And so I don't know. I'm not really sure where Dylan is coming from, but Dylan likes all of the traitors. So there's that part because he likes Danielle and he likes Carolyn, but he also called out Danielle. He told Danielle. No, not Danielle. He told Carolyn that Danielle was saying Carolyn is a traitor, and that actually started the whole ball.
Right. Well, he tells anything that anybody says to him in confidence. He tells, and he's not supposed to do that. And you're supposed to have one or two people that you trust in the game. But that's the naivete about him. He's going around telling everybody everything that he shouldn't.
Right.
That he should not.
And so that's dangerous too.
Yeah, that's completely dangerous. So
now Brittany, I know you want to get in with Brittany.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I just want to say that I thought Brittany, I'm not necessarily a fan of Brittany's, but I've become more of a fan of Brittany's because I like the way she handled herself at the Roundtable. She was like, look, this is what it is. You all can decide whatever you decide. I'm a faithful, always have been, and bam, and if you don't see the preponderance of evidence over here toward Rob, that's on you. I like the way she spoke up and stuck with the truth and told her story.
Right.
I liked it. She didn't back down. She didn't run away. She didn't go hysterical. She just told it, this is what it is. And let the chips fall where they may. I like that the way she spoke because it had the ring of truth, and in fact it was true. So I became much more of a fan of Brittany's.
Yeah, I mean, Brittany did tell the truth. I've seen Brittany play on a few seasons of Big Brother. Yeah. And I know that Brittany can lie. And I also know that Brittany,
and she can be emotional and carry on.
She can be overly emotional with stuff. And I think she did. Well, listen, she's matured.
Right.
Let's say that.
Right, and you can see the growth. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Ciara. I don't know what to say about her. Because I didn't like how tied to Rob she was. How Rob just pulled the wool over her. I guess he was so sweet and so nice to her
and strength.
Yeah,
and he's been right, quote unquote.
Right. But she was just so wrong. She was so wrong. But we'll see.
Well, she's about second to Dylan.
Yeah. So, and then Gabby. Now, Gabby to me is just I don't know. Gabby, you thought that Gabby was going to be in Rob's corner, but she voted against him. So she wasn't that bugged like we thought she was.
Right.
So I don't know.
Right.
So we'll
Gabby
see.
is a wild card at this point.
Yeah. You don't really know. She's a person that you might want to vote out. But Carolyn likes Gabby, and Gabby
very much so.
Yeah,
they're partners.
So that's not gonna happen. So let's see. Moving forward, we have 2 traitors left. We have Danielle and Carolyn. Now, in situations like this, sometimes they go on and they recruit a 3rd traitor, and then other times they just stick with the 2.
It right.
Now, if they recruit a 3rd traitor, who do you think will fit well with the 2 ladies?
Okay, I'm going to just go into, maybe this is not right, but I'm going to go into men. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going to go into men and who I think would work well with them.
Dylan.
That was it.
That's it. There's nobody else.
That's it. Because Dylan has been the most innocent, quote unquote, and I think Dylan. Yeah. I think Dylan. It could have been Tom, but now they see Tom has some, abilities to deduce things correctly,
right?
And so maybe not him, but Dylan would be really,
Yeah, I mean that's who I'm going for. I think that will probably be a good choice.
I think that would really help mix it up a lot. Yeah.
Okay, a really, really good episode. I really enjoyed it. Always with the drama. Is there anything that you want to say, Ma, before we go?
Oh, wait. Oh, here's the second possible.
Oh, good.
Get second one. Sir Ivor.
Oh, I think Ivor will mess things up.
Sir Ivor, I don't know. I think people would throw him into a category where he wouldn't.
Well, maybe not.
Because they're already looking at him like, oh, we don't know what those actions are with him,
Right, because he's tweedly-dee, tweedly-dum, doo-doo-doo-doo kind of guy.
Right.
Well, let's see what happens. They're supposed to do it face to face. They're supposed to murder someone on the next episode. Well, I don't know if they're going to actually murder someone face to face or if they're going to recruit someone, because sometimes they throw a twist in.
Yeah, so let's see how it goes.
Let's see.
Okay.
All right.
Or maybe they'll give him the option. Do you want to be murdered or do you want to be...
They've done that.
Right.
They've done both.
That's right. Okay.
So, that's it for this week's recap. We will see what happens. We'll see you next week. But before you go, don't forget to subscribe, like, and tune into our regular podcast, the Bamgboshe Happy Hour, every Thursday and on most Sundays. Stay tuned for more backstabbing, tears, and of course, drama. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and check out full episodes of the Bamgboshe Happy Hour podcast, streaming on most platforms.